Coming up on Bloom, we're exploring hot food trends like meze-style dining.
The whole concept of meze and family community-style dining has really taken off.
And refreshing mocktail ideas for your summer fun.
You know, you don't want to just go out and have to have a soda or a water or a tea. Sometimes you want to join in the fun.
Plus, we're making delicious farm-to-table dish in the Bloom kitchen. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We're talking food trends today, from the way you serve your spread to family and friends, to diet trends that can reshape your health and wellness. Food has a profound impact on our health, influencing everything from our energy levels and physical well-being to our mood and cognitive function. Every bite you eat can either feed your body essential nutrients that we need to function optimally, or it could work against you. Joining me now with hot food trends is the owner of Sunshine Nutrition Group, registered dietitian Stephanie Nicholson. Stephanie, welcome to Bloom.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, and I love the topics that you're going to be discussing, because a lot of us think we're choosing healthy things and we might not be, so break it down for us.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with functional beverages. So there's an increasing consumer interest in gut health and functional foods. So we have these prebiotic soda companies who are developing sodas that actually have ingredients that support the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. So a couple of them that I want to talk about today. One actually has an impressive 9 grams of fiber, and it also includes prebiotics, plant fibers, and botanicals. And for people who want to kick the soda habit, it's a really good alternative if you want to explore something that still is flavorful and has that fizzy carbonation that we enjoy. Another one that I want to talk about today has it uses apple cider vinegar, and it mixes it with some fruit flavors, and that can help aid in digestion and improve overall immunity. And these companies are doing a really great job at educating consumers on the differences between prebiotics and probiotics, which is lending to their appeal. So collectively, between these soda alternatives, these different gut health ingredients that they're using, this is why it's one of the top trends in 2024.
So you're saying it's okay, because I love these drinks. I'm addicted to them, and the good news is you can't drink too much of them, because they were a little pricier than like a regular soda,
true.
But at least you're getting the benefits, and they do feel good, and you feel good after drinking them.
Yes, and prebiotics and probiotics in general, if you're taking a supplement, are also expensive. So if that's unaffordable and you really do want a soda alternative, this might be something that's great to try.
All right, awesome. So talk to me through some other, picks that you might choose or not choose.
Absolutely. So next I'd like to talk about functional mushrooms and culinary varieties. So again, these are also considered functional beverages because they have ingredients that have health benefits. And so some of the functional mushrooms that you may have heard about are called reishi, lion's mane, and chaga, and they are putting these into pre-made shakes. So one of them that I wanted to talk about has 200 milligrams of reishi. Reishi is has adaptogenic properties and can help ease stress levels and even promote relaxation. And another one is a protein shake, and it actually has lion's mane. Lion's mane is huge. Hashtag lion's mane has 40 million views on TikTok, and so people are saying that it really helps to support concentration, helps with memory and mental acuity. So it's a big deal. And then you also, if you're going in the grocery, you may have seen different matcha tea blends and coffee. Again, they're putting these ingredients like lion's mane. There's a tea that has 2,000 milligrams of whole mushrooms blended with matcha. So something like that is going to be an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant powerhouse.
Okay.
And then moving on to culinary mushrooms. So chefs and home cooks alike are experimenting in the kitchen with different types of mushrooms. So today I brought both portobello and shiitake. Portobello, they're amazing, they're large, they're hearty. If you're looking for a plant-based alternative to a burger, you can try that. You can fill them with, some kind of vegetable. You can slice them and throw them in a stir fry, and they have that savory umami flavor. And then shiitake mushrooms are great as well. They have almost a deep, earthy flavor. You can throw those in a stir fry, sauces, and soups. They're loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, and I do recommend them for the anti-inflammatory diet. In addition, mushrooms are they are very environmentally sustainable. They don't take much water, and they take less space than other crops do. So taking all of these things into consideration, the versatility, the functional mushrooms, and so you're getting all of these anti-inflammatory benefits. That's one reason why they're a hot trend in 2024.
Okay, I want to jump to the milks because we have about a
Yes,
minute left.
for sure.
And this is where it gets really confusing for people.
Yes. So plant-based milks are dominating the market. And so people really like the taste of plant-based milks better than cow's milk. It's also easier to digest, and they are increasingly available. And so we have a couple of them that I brought today. Almond milk is by far the most popular. It's great in coffee. You can put it in a smoothie or over cereal. Oat milk is also amazing. It's a little bit creamier and has a subtle sweetness to it. Macadamia is quite special. It's very buttery, and I would recommend putting that in baked goods or desserts. And finally, I brought cashew milk. Cashew milk is nice and thick and makes great sauces, and I love this in coffee.
Okay, this sounds great. You're going to have to promise to come back and tell me about buckwheat trends.
Absolutely, I will.
All right, it's so great having you on Bloom. I hope you come back.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to share Stephanie's advice on bloomtampabay.com. And when we come back, how to jump on board with the mezzy trend and family-style eating. Bloom, we'll be right back. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. There's a new food trend called mezzy-style dining and family-style shared meals. Here to help us get on board is the executive chef at Water Street's popular Predolino restaurant, Chef Billy Zicko. Chef Billy, it is so great to see you.
Hi, how you doing this today?
Doing really well. So I love your restaurant. I love the spread, and it's becoming more and more popular as a food trend.
Absolutely, yeah. The whole concept of meze and family community style dining has really taken off. It sort of incorporates everybody at the table to have a conversation, share, and talk about the food.
I love it. So what are we putting together today?
So today we're going to do a little assembly of our hearth roasted cauliflower. It's a blistered cauliflower dish, very rustic, with a tahena puree on the base, a little bit of an herbaceous green verde condiment on top, topped with some toasted pine nuts and a little bit of pickled shallot to give it some pop.
Oh man, that sounds good. All right, let's get started.
Absolutely. So first things first, we're going to take our mint here and we're going to go ahead and chop up our mint. So the way we want to do this, it's a chiffonade. We're going to go for a very thin chop on it.
Okay.
In our mixing bowl right here. So what we're going to do is we're kind of just going to stack our mint up like this on top of itself, and we're going to roll it up.
Okay.
So, and the reason why we're going to do this is we want to kind of bring the herb together, and when we go through and make our cut, we're going to get a very thin, nice, even cut so that it looks very nice and even on top of the cauliflower when it sits.
Okay. It smells delicious.
Oh yeah.
The rest we can use in a cocktail or something.
Absolutely. and a lot of the things about herbs that people are starting to understand more and more is that, you know, the freshness of your herbs, where you're getting your herbs from, it's all relevant. It's all very important. It changes the ultimate end product. So I'm just going to go through here and cut very, very thin. and do this chef.
You've got some serious knife skills going on, but I guess that makes sense. You are a top chef.
Yeah, this is, you know, this isn't my second day doing this. I've been doing it for a little bit, so I've had some time to practice.
I'm just impressed.
So I'm gonna go through and just, you know, get this nice and thin, and then once I'm done chopping this up, I'm gonna go ahead and go right into this mixing bowl here. So I have a little bit of fresh mint right there, and I'm gonna do the same thing, not the same cut, but essentially just chop it really nice and fine on this parsley here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take some of this parsley, and I'm gonna do about equal parts to that mint there. I don't have a scale right now, but if I did, I would probably have it be exactly the same.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go through here with this parsley, and I'm gonna kind of put it together in my hands and just sort of chop it up.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll it up right here together.
I like the rolling technique. That's a good hack.
It makes it a little easier, and also making sure that your parsley is as dry as possible is gonna go through and give you the best chop on your parsley. So what I like to do is I like to run through it one time like this, and don't worry if you miss some, it's not a big deal. We're gonna go through and get it all at the end.
Okay.
So I'm gonna follow through all the way, kind of tuck it in, push it through, get my first chop, and then I'm gonna go through like this, and I'm kind of just gonna bang the knife down on it like this and go through and work it. And I'm gonna bring it all together, and I'm gonna do the same thing again.
To get nice and fine there.
Absolutely. I want it to look, you know, homogeneous, nice, and, you know, like it's gonna be served at a restaurant.
Yes, yes. So the meze board, these are the examples of that. I mean, these are things that you can, you know, if you're right next to Predolina, that's great. That's the go-to. But if you're watching from other cities and states across the nation, so this is a great idea of a way to set out a board like this and make it a family-style dining.
Absolutely, and you know, that's kind of why I wanted to display some of these items right here in front of us. I wanted to showcase that wonderful share style that we serve there in the restaurant, our crudité pita board, where we have, you know, our traditional hummus, whipped feta, and other accoutrements there with some fresh vegetables. And then we also have our fresh warm pita there, a lobster carpaccio. All of these dishes are designed for people to sort of pick around and grab a little piece and put it on their plate, and to sort of share the experience of the food. You know, everybody takes a bite, gets a chance to talk about it. Absolutely.
Speaking of taking a bite, I was just told in my ear that we have about a minute 30 left, so I don't want to miss out on the blistering cauliflower.
So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go a little bit of olive oil in there on the bowl, and a little bit of salt right here. That olive oil is infused with lemon. And we're gonna go ahead and sort of just mix this all up right here.
That looks amazing.
Absolutely, it's just nice and fresh. It's a very fresh and light condiment. And then what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of pickled shallot and put it in there as well to give it some pop and color. This is a sumac pickled shallot, gives a little bit of tang, sweetness, plays into that authenticity of the Mediterranean concept that we're going for here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pull our cauliflower, which has been roasting in the oven.
Okay.
And careful, this is gonna be very, very hot.
Yeah, I've been listening to it sizzle away for quite some time now.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna grab one of these cauliflowers, and what we're looking for is a nice rustic color, as you can see right there. Very nice browning on top is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna take, oh, it's wonderful, and it smells great. I'm gonna take some of our tahina puree right here, which is just some tahini that is gonna be emulsified with a little bit of confit garlic, some lemon juice, and some oil, and I'm just gonna do a nice smear right here in the center of the plate, kind of to act as a sauce for this dish.
Okay.
And then, once I have that nice sort of created in the center, I'm gonna take a little bit of this za'atar right here. This is fresh za'atar, which is a wonderful Mediterranean herb where you've got sumac, you've got thyme, some sesame. It's gonna be wonderful, wonderful flavor
and
there.
And then you're gonna pop the cauliflower on that?
Right on top here.
So as chef plates this for us and puts on, and I'll give this bowl back to you.
Perfect.
And if you wanna follow along and watch Chef Billy and me put this together, mostly Chef Billy, you can do so on bloomtampabay.com. And coming up, meet a woman opening up restaurants across Tampa Bay, exploding in popularity. She joined us in our WFLA Now streaming center to share how she transitioned from a Manhattan chef in New York City to opening up restaurants here in Tampa Bay.
We have over 400 people on our team right now.
Wow, that's quite a few.
So quite a few, and much more growth this year.
And later, why more people are opting for free spirit cocktails. We're shaking things up minus the booze when Bloom returns. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. Welcome back. We're talking food trends today, and more restaurants are opening up with healthy choices on the menu for patrons. Top female chef, restaurateur, and food educator Natalia Levy is opening up award-winning restaurants across Tampa Bay. And as she gears up to launch new concepts on Central Avenue in trendy downtown St. Petersburg, she told us on the Bloom Health Club about how she always keeps her customers' health in mind.
We continuously asking ourselves, can we do this better as far as the ingredients, the health of the ingredients, and then still maintain such a high level of flavor for our guests? Right. Because I have gone through such a massive health journey myself, I understand what it is like to live without. So what we've done is without gluten, without dairy, without certain ingredients, and our team is extra compassionate to people that have specific dietary restrictions. And we have done, we had somebody who was allergic to pine nuts, and they came to Speaks Clam Bar, one of our restaurants, and we made them pesto on the fly without pine nuts. Nice. So it's just doing things like that and treating our guests with such extra compassion instead of a nuisance when they ask for something to omit some kind of an ingredient that they have an intolerance to. And if somebody is on a health journey, I think it's our job in the hospitality business is to accommodate them.
Right, their money's still good.
You can stream the entire conversation with Natalia and watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. From mocktails to de-alkalized wine, the numbers show more people want to drink less. Joining me now from Predolina is sommelier and general manager Mark Hofer. Mark, welcome to Bloom. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So there's a huge trend going on right now of people wanting to drink less, even if they're alternating with mocktails.
Absolutely. I think for a number of reasons, anything from my wife right now who's 7 months pregnant. We're expecting our first child. You know, you don't want to just go out and have a soda or a water or a tea. Sometimes you want to join in the fun. People are also, I think, way more conscious of what they're putting in their body now than they were even 5 years ago. They want to have things that aren't packed with high fructose corn syrup, that are curated and really fit the cuisine that they're dining on a Tuesday night when they have to be at work at 8 a.m. the next day and they don't have the time to sleep it off, so to speak. So I think the trend is great. It's also driven by the development of these non-alcoholic spirits that give you the chance to really build a cocktail without it just being juices, right? So I'd love to show you one of ours at Predolina.
Yes, absolutely.
We use Seedlip. It's their Notas de Agave. So we're building what would be a tequila or a mezcal cocktail.
Right.
We're going to start our build with 2 ounces of that, so a pretty even pour here.
Now, this right here that you're starting, is this the non-alcoholic version of that?
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
So it is agave-based,
Okay.
but then they just don't distill it. It's distilled and then they remove the alcohol.
All right.
So after that, we have our house-made. This is a sumac syrup. Sumac is a very floral, pretty flavor. It's actually a flower that's part of the cashew family, used throughout the Mediterranean. We're going to do about 1.5 ounces of this.
Now, is that something that you would use in a regular cocktail as well? You're using the same pure type ingredients?
That's a great question, and it's exactly what we're doing. Next, I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of lemon. This is actually the exact same cocktail build that we have for a cocktail on our menu that we just call the Motley. We call it freely because it's free-spirited. It has no alcohol, right? So we've used the exact same cocktail build. We just substitute out the non-alcoholic alcohol or spirit so that you don't have to have that alcohol in your drink, and then you're good to go and you get that same flavor profile. You're not missing out on the flavor just because you don't want to be hungover the next day.
Okay,
So,
I love
all right,
it.
Let's get some shake on,
Let's
right?
do it. All right.
All right. Oh, I'm going to have to shake this twice.
Okay.
Because I missed one of the most important parts of this, which is fresh basil.
Okay.
You can't go without a nice little fresh aromatic herb. So we're going to get 2 shakes.
Okay, I like that. That's going to make it doubly delicious.
All right. And then the next thing, you hear a lot of people talk about topping cocktails.
Yes.
We top this with the Fever Tree Yuzu Lime Soda. And when you do top a cocktail, you really should start with it in the base. I know that sounds backwards, but you're going to see why. As I pour, that's actually going to wake up the cocktail. As the bubbles work their way up through the cocktail, you're going to get a beautiful mix instead of it just sitting on top.
I love it. What a great pro tip.
And then we're just going to garnish, because who doesn't love a little color and a little extra aromatics, with some fresh basil. And that's our Freely Motley.
I love it. I'll take
Cheers.
a little sip action here, and this is very exciting. Oh, wow.
So
It's
bright, right? Fresh.
so bright. And I just think, too, if you're not drinking, you still feel like you're part of the party when you have something like this. And it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
And to your point, with all the fresh ingredients, I think that's what's key, too, is that you don't want the syrups and, you're making everything from scratch.
Exactly. Exactly. It makes such a huge difference.
Well, this is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
All right, and do you actually put all of these tastes together? Do you help? Because I know you've got this
do.
incredible training as a sommelier.
So we as a team, we have a fantastic bar staff that brings ideas. We have other managers, both myself, our assistant general manager, our entire beverage team come together. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, we have amazing chefs who also bring amazing flavor profiles to us that then we say, hey, how can we incorporate that into a cocktail?
I love that. It's
So
brilliant.
It's a whole team effort.
That's why your restaurant's so popular. Thank you so much. We're going to share these mocktail recipes on bloomtampabay.com, and we will be back with more Bloom right after this.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by LinFit Nutrition.
Welcome back to Bloom. Weight loss drugs like semaglutide are all the rage, but they're not natural. But our next guest has an alternative solution. For 15 years, our next guest trained stars like Martha Stewart. Joining me now for Motivation Monday is metabolic weight loss and fitness expert and the founder of LinFit Nutrition, Lisa Lynn, to talk about natural alternatives to weight loss drugs. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So it's so important to take the natural route.
It is. But here's the thing. It's not an either or. If you need to take those types of trendy drugs because your body needs it, okay, you still have to do this, because here's my public service announcement. If your nutrition is not good, there is no drug or supplement or workout routine that is going to help. It's not going to help keep you healthy, and it certainly isn't going to help you lose weight. So first things first, you have to do these 3 things. You have to get good quality protein that your body can digest. You have got to get fiber. And if you're on those semaglutide drugs, you really need to adhere to those 2, because they're causing muscle wasting and blockages. So it's back to the basics nutrition. protein, fiber, and healthy fats.
And forever, your entire line has had the natural alternative to these weight loss drugs that are proven to work.
Yes, and that's the thing. This whole GLP-1 boosting, which is the hormone that helps suppress hunger and appetite, we've been doing this for 35 years. Bodybuilders, fitness enthusiasts, this is not new news to us. It's everything we do because we want to look lean. And so I really don't talk about this enough. I'm guilty. And every single product we make has some sort of GLP, which is a natural satiety. It'll, not only does it help suppress appetite and cravings, but there's a satisfaction quotient. And we're about to go there now.
Okay, let's do it.
So I made this natural way with Martha Stewart as my taste tester. It's not just what's in it, the high grade whey that's been microfiltered to remove lactose, which is not good for fat burning, but also what's not in it. We don't put bad fats. There's no lactose. There's no sugar. There's high protein and prebiotic fiber. So I have this every day. You know, people have seen this in my coffee. I froth and poured it. And taste this. This is our new plant-based protein bar. It has exactly what we just talked about. High-grade plant-based protein, good fiber, and good healthy fats.
And you dunk it in.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm having a party in the mouth every day. I do. Do I feel deprived? No. And it feeds the muscle, starves the fat so it leaves. So whether you do drugs, don't want to, this is less than $5 a day. And I've had it worked so efficiently over 35 years that you can lose, if you use it as a meal replacement, you can lose up to £1 pound a day healthfully.
Yeah, and we have some testimonials of your real clients.
That's correct.
And the weight loss is significant.
Every single before and after that you see on my website and here had their own method, but I never actually will even work with anybody unless they agree to do these two things. 30 pounds in 40 days, 5 pounds. More importantly, it's that belly fat that we want to attack because it's the best indicator of your metabolic health.
And, so the belly fat is, and that's what this whole system targets.
Correct. You don't need a blood test to see where you are metabolically. If you're having a hard time losing weight or you have belly fat, the case is closed, you know. It goes back to this.
Man, I can see why this is so hugely popular, not to mention it tastes great.
That's right, that's right. That's
All right, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And we have a Bloom special offer for you. Save up to 25% off LinFit metabolic boosting proteins and select supplements. Just head to linfit.com and enter the code LinFit. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by LinFit Nutrition.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. A hot food trend that continues to gain in popularity is leaning into a plant-based diet. Here with an amazing farm-to-table recipe is the fun foodie mama, Kiva Williams. Kiva, it's always so great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So this is a refreshing salad just in time for summer.
Yes, so it's getting really hot. We don't want to eat a lot of heavy foods, and this is the perfect summer recipe to just throw together.
Okay, how do we put it together?
So our main attraction is the tomatoes. You know, it's always great to use fresh ingredients that are in season, so tomatoes and cucumbers, and also radishes. So how do you feel about radishes?
I like them. You know, it's an acquired taste for me, and I finally acquired the taste.
Yes, so I try to sneak in a couple new vegetables for my kids when I'm doing recipes, and this is a good one to kind of throw into a salad because it's not so prevalent, you know?
Right, right. You know, using a radish just for dipping is not my thing, but if I find one swimming around in my salad, I'm okay with that.
Right, right. And it has a nice little crunch and bite to it.
It does.
And so that also makes for a good, you know, like, nice ingredient to your salad. You know?
And it gives it, it's almost like a tangy kick. It's
Yes,
hard to explain
that's what I was
the
trying to
flavor
say.
of the radish.
Thank
but
you. A kick.
It does give it a little bit of a kick. It wakes your salad up for sure.
Yes, so this is like, you know, something that we add into the end, but the tomatoes are the main ingredient. And so, you know, you can just pick your favorite tomato. I use these small ones here, and I'm just gonna slice them in half because, you know, you don't want a huge tomato when you're biting into a salad.
That then just squirts over everyone.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
And then also what I love is that using produce that's in season, it's like, you know, it's more cost effective. Because right now the prices of produce is kind of high.
Yeah, it's out of control. All the prices at the grocery store, you feel like you go in for 4 items and, you know, it's
$50 later.
Yeah, 40, 50 bucks.
Yes. And so also what I love is using cucumbers because they have a nice, they're water based.
Yes.
And it gives it a nice like flavor.
Yeah, and we forget to stay hydrated during the summer months, which we're starting to really feel that heat kick up here in the Tampa Bay area, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you're eating foods that are, you know, good sources of to hydrate your body, and the cucumbers definitely, and so are the tomatoes for that matter.
And people think that sometimes when you're eating plant-based, it has to be boring, but it doesn't.
No.
You know, these are ingredients are things you have at your home. You know, red onions, tomatoes, radishes. Throw them together, put a nice vinaigrette that I'm gonna make here, and you're good to go.
All
so
right.
if you can take those and combine them in a bowl for us. And then I have some fresh herbs because fresh herbs give every recipe a nice little zing, you know?
All right.
And I'm using basil, so just gonna grab some leaves. And if you were here, you can smell how nice and fresh
I know,
that
it
is.
smells so amazing.
Yeah.
And we just had a top chef on talking to on the show earlier about really making sure that you're sourcing, you know, your herbs correctly, because it really makes such a difference
It really
in the
does.
flavors to have them fresh like this.
And so I have a family of 5, so I make hearty salads because I want them to, you know, I want it to stretch and go a long way.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm making a mess today,
No,
but
don't worry about it.
help me out, Gayle. All right, so we have our main salad made. It looks
Okay.
really good, right?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
And I'm gonna take some fresh oranges and have you squeeze it over top because that's part of our dressing. But if you squeeze it on top, right on the salad, that's fine too.
Okay, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this salad dressing is made up of fresh oranges, apple cider vinegar, virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and of course salt and pepper. And one of my main pro tips is using soy sauce as a sodium base.
Okay.
If you have liquid aminos, that's fine too. But
I love liquid aminos, but they're a little bit sweeter too to me.
Yeah.
I like them.
and sometimes it's hard to find.
Yeah.
So that's one of the plant-based ingredients that my mom used. She's a vegan, so she loves using liquid aminos.
Yeah, you've talked about that on the show before, having your mom as a vegan and learning, you know, and teaching us how to lean in to a plant-based diet.
Yes, grab that spoon and toss it for me.
Alrighty.
And so, again, I just wanted to reiterate that using fresh ingredients in season, like, you know, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, it's just a fresh way to get, you know, a lot of veggies and healthy ingredients into your diet.
I love it. I'll let you get a little bit of salad dressing, shake that up.
Yeah, of course, we're gonna add some salt and pepper.
All right.
These are ingredients that everyone has in their home.
All right, and we're gonna share Kiva's recipe on bloomtampabay.com. And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom trivia question. Which type of basil is most commonly used for medicinal purposes? Cinnamon basil, holy basil, or Greek basil? We're gonna have the answer later on Bloom.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box.
Welcome back to Bloom. The concept food is medicine is an important approach to our next guest. Joining me now with insights on health and food trends are Dr. Lana Gardner and Leah Tickle-Taylor from Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box. Doctors, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Gayle.
So how do you think food impacts our health?
Food is critical to our health. So in our clinic, because we teach all the time, we are teaching about food. It's very important to understand that yes, food used to be medicine, but today it's do no harm with food. So if you're buying your food at the grocery store, going out to eat, it's important to understand, is it industrialized? How is it processed? Because there are different diseases in our culture today versus agricultural cultures.
So this is something you take very seriously at Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box, because you mentioned you educate not just your patients, but fellow doctors that work alongside you.
Exactly. And then we also educate with food diaries. Every visit that a patient comes, they can bring a list of what they're eating for us to go through.
Okay, so what diseases would you say are more Western diseases?
More Western diseases are ones like gallstones, appendicitis, diverticulitis, metabolic disease, diabetes, fatty liver.
And all of these are caused by our diets.
100%.
That's really, really interesting. So talk to me about some of the things that you teach at Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box.
Well, it's important to teach them how to shop at the grocery store. So we always say, please, when you go to the grocery store, try to go around the outside or the perimeter of the grocery store where the real food is, with one name like eggs, butter,
Right.
lettuce.
And real butter, right?
Real butter.
Yes.
And try to avoid the aisles where it's sort of pasteurized, processed food like things in boxes that taste good. So all of that up and down the aisles is no bueno. We also tell them, please, look at the labels, read the labels. If you cannot pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it.
Yeah.
Try to eat like your grandparents or great-grandparents ate when they didn't have all this shipped into them.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, and I've said this to you ladies before, is that, you know, my grandmother always cooked, you know, she was a farm-to-table kind of woman, and cancer never ran in our family. But then fast forward, you know, both of my parents died from different forms of cancer. So it's crazy what's happening. We have to be so incredibly careful. What about supplements? Is that something that you recommend for your patients?
Well, yes. Unfortunately, we do believe you have to supplement. We think the soil in our country has been over-farmed, hasn't been regenerated, although that's coming. And so if the soil is poor in nutrients like minerals and vitamins, what grows in the soil doesn't have it in them, and what eats whatever grows in the soil. So the meat and the produce is lacking and deficient. We find it's very important to supplement. We have a lot of illnesses coming in that we see as illnesses of deficiencies of the basics of human life. Ehlers-Danlos, POTS, PCOS, anemia across all our young people, osteoporosis in men and women, infertility issues. We believe the human body can do much better than this if given the proper nutrients.
Yeah, and it's very important for us to point out that the reason Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box is so popular and the practice is growing leaps and bounds every day is because they tailor treatment protocols for every single patient individually for them. So ladies, thank you so much, doctors. We just love it when you come in.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box are located in St. Petersburg. For more information, call 727-498-8898 or visit online at docsoutsidethebox.us. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box.
We're exploring food trends today on Bloom, and joining me now with an easy way to boost your cup of joe is functional medicine doctor, Dr. Kathleen Geringer. It's so great to see you, Dr. Kathleen.
It's great to see you, Gayle.
So today we're talking about how to boost our coffee.
Yes, and you know how much I love ginger.
Yes, I do. You actually add it to your coffee?
Yes, and ginger is very anti-inflammatory. It's great for our digestive health. And so what I do is that I slice these ginger up into little slices, and I put it in a little container, and I put it in my fridge. So every morning when I make my coffee, I just throw like 2 slices of ginger in there.
And it tastes okay? Because a lot of people might wonder, is it going to mess up the taste of my coffee?
No, it's not as strong. It's not like, it doesn't like overwhelm the taste of coffee, because I love my coffee. I like the smell of my coffee. I don't like to mess around with the taste of my coffee, and it just gives it a little kick.
I like it. And you also say it neutralizes the acidity in coffee.
Yes, because we know that coffee is very acidic to the body, and sometimes it can cause like acid reflux. And of course, your doctors say, hey, cut back on the coffee. So what I do is that I slice the ginger, I throw it in my coffee, so it actually neutralizes the acidity of the coffee.
Now, you also have talked to us over the years about how it can also help your digestive tract.
Yes, ginger is actually a spice. So what we do is that we use ginger to help a lot with the digestive issues like acid reflux, also any kind of stomach aches or pain.
And you say too, and you mentioned this earlier, the anti-inflammatory benefits of somehow finding a way to work it into your diet. And a lot of people don't cook with ginger all the time, so this is a great hack.
Yes, it's a great hack, and it tastes really good. Now, coffee shops, you actually look at their menu, they do offer ginger infused coffee.
They do?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, I see you brought the powdered version of it as well. Does this have the same type of benefits, or do you prefer us to use it fresh?
I like to use the fresh ginger. The powdered ginger is okay. Sometimes I'll throw it into my coffee if I don't have ginger around. But don't forget, the fresh ginger is a lot more, how can I say, potent, because it has that active compound. It's called gingerol, and what that does is that it has that anti-inflammatory properties.
If you're not a coffee drinker, you're a big fan of steeping it and making it like a tea.
Yes, just add hot water to it.
That's a good one. And then when you slice it up and you put it in a little jar in your refrigerator, Zach, how long does that last you?
It probably lasts me for a week or two.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yes, and I wrap it with a paper towel or something to keep the moisture out. And so it lasts for a pretty long time, 2 weeks.
Any other food recommendations? We have about a minute left just to kind of boost your day.
Yes, I love to start out my day with lemon and warm water. What it does is that it helps to stimulate our hydrochloric acid and aid in digestion. And with ginger, not only can you put it in your coffee, but we can slice it and put it into your soup too, and just bringing up that anti-inflammatory markers.
That's really great to know. I mean, you've always talked to us about the benefits of ginger, and they just go on, and I like the whole coffee aspect of it. I'm going to give this one a try.
Yes, absolutely, and it's so great for our pH too.
All right, Dr. Kathleen, it is always such a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on Bloom.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, what we're going to do for you is we will share Dr. Kathleen's advice on bloomtampabay.com. And stick around. We will be back with more Bloom right after this, so don't go away. It's time for today's Bloom trivia question. Which type of basil is most commonly used for medicinal purposes? Cinnamon basil, holy basil, or Greek basil? The answer is holy basil. According to Healthline, holy basil, sometimes called tulsi, is most commonly used in supplements, herbal teas, and has a long history of use for many ailments. There are many different types of basil, each with different flavors. Holy basil isn't like the sweet basil found in your mom's marinara sauce. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Bloom today. You can catch Bloom anytime by following us on social media. We're on all major platforms, so get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the innovative breakthrough health and wellness conversations and incredible guests that we have right here on Bloom. And don't forget to check out our podcast, The Bloom Health Club. You can catch it live on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays at 2 p.m. We take a deep dive and have extended conversations with some of the top guests that we have right here on Bloom. You can watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Well, we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. The conscious physician, Dr. Lita Fatemi, is joining us with critical importance of sleep.
If you don't get enough sleep, brain performance precipitously goes down, mental health issues precipitously go up, anxiety, depression.
And there's an organization committed to improving mental health, lighting up the city of Tampa green and launching a series of videos with advice to navigate the mental health system. So stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
Content segments during Bloom were paid for by LinFit Nutrition and Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box.